Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk all things reality TV or whatever.
Ah,
I'm your host, Pharaoh. I'm joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is a pretty mid episode. No shade. I feel like Tiffany leaving was a really really big thing, and then this one it was kind of like the person who took Tiffany out. James, baby, you went home to write next episode. It's like okay, but we here, I guess.
I
So
guess.
we can just dive right into it. So we start at the algorithm, as we all know, that is the matching ceremony, where they're going to match the pairs for this challenge week. So.
Mhm.
The pairs are David and Shannon, DX and Shan, Ben and Kira, Enzo and Desi, Leo and Justine, Queen Aza and Danny,
Hmm.
Xavier and Kayla, Tyson and Alyssa, Cinco and Sarah, Kylan and Angela, Cache and Dominic, and then James and Tasha. So those are the pairs of this week. We're gonna go right into it. So essentially, we start the episode off. We have the Amazing Race powwow. You know, we have Leo, James, and Kayla. They're kind of coming together and they're discussing like we're the only three Amazing Race people here. We literally have to stick together, which is definitely giving foreshadowing because we all know that is not the case towards the end of this episode. James
Literally.
played right in Leo and Kayla's face. But that is in the beginning of the episode. They're realizing, it's us three, and we're gonna stick it out to the end. Per. And then we
True.
have a scene of DX and Shan. As I just mentioned, they're working together this episode because they're partnered. And, she's basically lying down to DX, saying that she feels like she's on the outside of the Survivor Alliance and she just doesn't know what she's going to do. Even though she's lying to DX, DX is clocking down because DX is not dumb. And he's definitely seen her season of Survivor. So he knows that she is the strategic genius queen, Shan. He literally knows that she's the equivalent of Tiffany. So I don't think
Mhm.
she honestly maybe should have thought that out before she tried to lie to this man straight in his face, because he brings up the Shantham, which we all know, the iconic theme song of Miss Chantel Smith.
Period.
And she basically, like I said, she mentions not trusting the Survivor Alliance, which is a blatant lie. And then we have a conversation between Tasha and James, the casualties of this episode, which I feel like you Loki could have peeped. I don't know. They were definitely getting a sentimental edit. It was
Mhm.
I feel like it was definitely between Dom and Cache and James and Tasha, and we see
Yeah.
which one they went to. So basically they talk and they're like, we will not give up on each other. And this is when we get a really, I think, important diary from James, which I didn't realize was that important until later on. But he mentions like basically I'm starting to realize that being with the Amazing Race Strong is not going to help me. It's three people. Survivor is running the show, so I need to try to latch on with Survivor. So I
Mhm.
think he is really seeing this opportunity of working with Tasha to really get in good with them. However, I don't think Tasha necessarily had too much power or say in that. So I don't know if that was the correct decision to really stick your teeth into. But hey, that's what he's saying. He wants to be loyal to it. And Tasha seems very receptive. She likes James a lot. She also wants to rock with it. And then we have a situation of Cash and Sarah. They're in the bed together, talking or whatever. And I think that's really interesting because like we see only certain moments of social interaction. So it's random to see
Mhm.
why the hell is Sarah and Cache literally cuddled up in bed talking about something. But basically, Cache is having her 20th diary room about Cinco because every time they show this girl on TV, she's talking about Cinco. I'm sorry, like this is no shade to Cache at all, but one thing about the challenge CBS, they are showing this girl talking about Cinco all the time. Like they are definitely trying to push the storyline. And I also feel like it's not even that big of a storyline. They just have nothing else, no shade to show. So she's basically saying, like, even if me and Cinco in here, I'm really grateful that it ended on this note. Whoop de whoop de move, some sentimental shit. I didn't really give a damn. Dom was over it. I was over it. No shade. And then we have Tyson and Angela. So if y'all remember from the beginning, literally the first episode, when they initially had to pick their pairs, Tyson and Angela picked each other. So they developed a very, very quick bond with each other. Tyson and Angela, they basically, even though they knew it was going to be randomized every week. They said we're still going to be good. So they're essentially talking. They're coming up with the master plan of the Challenge USA. They want to go after the weaker team so they won't get paired with them. So this is before the challenge. They're basically discussing like if either one of us wins, that's the agenda we push. And the weak teams have to go because we don't want to be paired with them. So while they're whispering in the corner, you have Miss Shan on the other side of the village. She's kind of peeping that they're talking, and she doesn't like that because she's like, well, if you're supposed to be Survivor Strong, why are you talking to Angela? Personally, I feel like Angela and Tyson have not made this pairing secret at all. I don't know why the girls are gagged that much about it, but I do feel like that's something that's going to come to fruition at some point, so it's important to note. And then basically, one of the last things we get going into the challenge is that essentially Dom thinks Cache a flop, and Cache thinks Dom a flop. Cache has Dom on her show. She's like, this is them walking up to the challenge, essentially. And she's like, I think we're going to be running, and Dominic can't run. And then they cut to Dominic and say, I don't want to be paired with someone who I think might not be good at this. So they're going and clocking each other down, and then we have the challenge. So it's called Hang On Man, and TJ explained that it is a basically challenge rendition of Hangman. So what's going to happen is that each pair is going to start at the starting line, and they're going to race across this large ass field. I don't know if it was a soccer field, I don't know what it was. It was a big ass field, and they have to collect these stair puzzles. They have to bring back one stair puzzle per person, back to the other side. This stair puzzle is going to create a staircase up to the top of this podium. At the top of this podium, one of the two of the pairs has to balance on a beam with a bar holding over them. And the other person has to take these letters because they have a phrase to guess on the other side of the field, like Wheel of Fortune style. If they bring a letter and it is wrong, they will have to bring a sandbag back and put on the rod that the other partner is holding. So that's the challenge there, because you could potentially fall. The first pair to guess their phrase will win the challenge and will be safe and get to split $10,000. The losing pair, of course, will be thrown immediately into the arena.
Now, I would have lost, I fear. It's giving. I definitely would have took my fat ass and sat my fat ass on the sideline because I was not going to win that. First of all, the running back and forth for the puzzles, it's giving track field. And am I a track star? No, I am a human. You had to put the puzzles together. I would have been hot and sweaty. There's literally a point, and Derek X is like, Shan is putting circles and triangles and squares and rectangles. I don't know what she's doing. And honestly, Shan, look, I feel you because
like it's like this challenge has so many components. First, you have to run back and forth to get these stairs. Oops, the stairs is the puzzle. Now you have to hang on somewhere. Like, first of all, they definitely reached with the challenge version of the Hangman, because I mean, I guess it's given that, but it's given a lot else. I don't know. Like, it's a lot.
Damn near football.
I don't know who was in the creative director room, but they low-key ate, because this is a lot. Like, I would be tucking the fuck out.
Me, I would have been tucking the fuck out. I fear, like, I would have been on the ground. I fear. And then my thing is, the running was enough. Now I have to hold sandbags, possibly, allegedly, if you get a letter wrong. And then if I'm the one getting the letters, it's not just grabbing the letters and guessing. You have to run. Grab a letter, run all the way back. And if the letter is wrong, now you have to run, put a sandbag on your partner's thing. Then you have to run and go get the next letter and then come back and try to guess that letter. It's a lot, Bookie Poo, I fear. So during the challenge, we get confessionals here and there. And it's giving, they were foreshadowing the fact that Tasha was going to go home because Tasha had a confessional, and she was basically Tasha was like, when I was in Survivor, all I could do was win the comps, or I was going to home. So I really, really want to make sure that I'm able to win these competitions and these challenges. And it was kind of frustrating her because she wasn't doing the best in this challenge with her partner, James. So she was having that confessional about that. We get a confessional from Alyssa. And Alyssa's like, Tyson has won the last two challenges. So now that I'm paired with Tyson, if I lose, it's going to be very much so Alyssa is a flop because Tyson has won every other time. So if he doesn't win with me, it's not looking good. So already at the beginning of the challenge, you could see that Angela and Kylan were low-key eating the girls up ASAP. It was already given they were about to win, so we saw that.
And I think, and it's because like with these challenges, I mean, similar to the Challenge USA, I do like these challenges a lot more than Challenge USA, but they're adding so many mental aspects to where it's like it doesn't matter how physical you are, if you can't make a puzzle, if you can't like
solve a crossword,
like
if you
baby, you're not winning.
So Angela and Kylan were doing really well as they were putting up all the, what the fuck are they called? The staircase and building the staircase and getting over. So eventually everyone gets over the staircase and they all get to the portion of this challenge where you're running back and forth and trying to get the letters. So there's a scene where basically Tasha is the one who's holding the pole and she has to hold the weights if they get a letter wrong. James is the one who's running and getting the letters. So James gets a letter wrong, and so he's putting a thing on Tasha's thing. Tasha was like, James, just let me know when you're dropping it so that I can be ready. And James was like, oh, okay, I'm dropping it. Then he dropped it and moved. And when he dropped it and moved, Tasha, she toppled over. And Tasha was like, well, shit. And James was like, well, shit. So basically, we know James and Tasha are going to be thrown in unless somebody else falls, but baby. So, and this is the second time, no shade. Shout out to James. This is the second time. You know,
my only thing
is,
James, baby, you didn't have to get my sister out to come out here and lose like this, baby. If you was gonna get Tiffany out like James,
I needed you to win the game. Baby, if you was gonna get Tiffany out,
mother out. If you was gonna get mother out,
then you need to be father, and you didn't get father. You didn't even get relative, boo. Cause why he get out my girl Tiff? A flop. Anyways, y'all. So,
James, baby.
Come back. So James and Tasha are out of the game. They lost. We get a scene, and basically, as soon as that happens, Leo and Kayla have their diary rooms, and they're like, "Oh, now he fell again."
Oh my god.
So they're like, "We really need to make sure that we win the challenge, and we need to make sure that we're the ones who was at the tribunal." What the fuck is it called? What is Angela and Kylan? The power players? Anyway,
I don't know, sir.
They're like, they need to be the winners of the challenge so that they can ensure that Leo goes against a weaker team. But who is there a weaker team? And then no shit. Sarah Tyson. Sarah basically has a diary room. She says the same thing. Me, Tyson, and Ben need to win so that we can make sure that Tasha is safe because we still want what the fuck are these people called? Survivor Strong to be Survivor Strong, regardless. So,
I don't know why everybody want to fucking ride with Survivor. That's the thing. In my opinion, I'm looking at the show. Big Brother is clearly not a threat. They just threw their leader out the door. No shade. Survivor is the most unified. They have the strongest competitor. They have the most winners. Like, I don't understand. Get them niggas out.
Period. Period. So Kylan is eating the girls up. Kylan is looking fine and drinking wine.
Can we really pause on that? Because I just feel like every time they show a random shot of Kylan, I'm just like, wow, this is a man. Like, wow, this is a man. He just looks so good. I don't know. It's the skin for me. It's the body for me. It's the athleticism, the mental capacity, the international implications.
This man be drenched in sweat that I will...
Stop!
Anyway, no, I'm just saying he be looking worn out. He be looking tired and still looking fine.
Now, I mean, man.
So as he's going and as he's doing his thing and leading the challenge, here come Benathan. So Ben coming behind him. I need to make sure I catch Kylan because I'm not gonna get second. Girl, Ben.
Ain't gonna be a guy. I just.
Ben loses.
As he said, to a man.
So Ben loses to the man, Kylan, and Kylan and Angela win the challenge. So at this point, I just want to let y'all know, the first challenge was Tyson and Angela, they won. Second challenge, Tyson and Justine won. Third challenge, Angela and Kylan won. So it's giving Angela and Tyson are running the girls now.
They need to go. At this point, I really want to see Angela and Tyson on the MTV version. Because I want them to really go over there and gag the girls because
the girls ain't got it.
Running this shit down. Like, at this point, if you're going to be paired with Tyson and Angela, you going to win.
Period. I'm ready to get the fuck. All right, but no, after that, Angela has, what's she do? Oh, they win. When they win, they get their money, so they both get $10,000. So now Angela has, well, she gets $5,000. So now Angela has 11,000. Correct. Angela has 11,000. Justine has 6,000, and one of the other girls got. It don't matter. Shit. Angela has 11,000 now, and Kylan has 6,000 now, or whatever. Boom. So after the challenge, we get back to the villa, and Angela and Tyson immediately talk. And Tyson is a strategic person. So he's going to put his 3 cents in. So he immediately told Angela, he said, hey, Bookapoo, remember what we talked about earlier? Let's keep that on there. We're going to get the weak players out of here.
Very immediately. I'm like, as I said, like, this is a very obvious pairing. Like, I'm pretty sure the girls are walking around and seeing this. And they are too strong of a pair. Like, I don't know. At this point, why is no one clocking and they need to go?
Period. So, the prospects to go get sent in basically becomes either Cache and Dom or Justine and Leo. David. Shannon and David is initially said by Tyson. Tyson and Angela, they talk about Shannon and David, and they talk about Cache and Dom. And initially, Justine and Dominic are not mentioned. I mean, wait, Justine and Dominic. Justine and Leo are not mentioned until
James has the funny idea that he wants to go against Justine and Leo because they have more money. So we mentioned earlier in the party that James was like, baby, I don't give a damn about the Amazing Race. I want to work with Survivor. So this comes to fruition here because he's essentially like, Justine has more money, and I don't give a fuck about that nigga Leo.
I just want to say, like, he is a ruthless. He's pretty damn ruthless. Like, he's giving
especially in the same episode, and like realistically, probably the day before, they were like, "Yeah, they made the race strong and whoop de whoop de whoop, and let's get this." And now he's like, "Oh no, Leo, yeah, he can go."
So he has this thought, and then after he has the thought, there's a conversation with the Kylan and Angela, and just James and Tasha have their conversation, and in the conversation, basically, James is like, I mean, Justine and Leo are there. And Tasha's like, yeah, I mean, we can definitely go against the people with money, because if we're going to go in, we're going to get some money, honey.
And I feel like I see that logic, but it's like, I mean, they end up losing to Cache and Dominic anyway, but I just feel like y'all definitely would have lost.
Going to lose to Justine and Leo.
Like, that was not the gamble I feared. That was not the gamble to take. Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, the challenge is still like a social game. Like, Leo has your back regardless, James. Like, I don't know if that was the move, Pookie.
So after this, we get a scene with Cache and Dominic. And as Lee said earlier, they were essentially not fond of each other as partners. And basically, they're talking, and Cache is like, Dominic is a little slow, I fear. Because he's walking around telling literally everybody that, well, I'm ready to go in. I mean, I'm going to have my boots strapped up. I'm going to sleep with my clothes on. I can't wait to go into the challenge and lose. And Cache is like, why is this man? What's wrong with him?
My thing is, Cache and Dominic gotta be the most random beef ever. I can't wait to the Challenge USA rivals. I want both of them brought back. They would be an iconic team. Like, when did this beef start? Like, I really want to know what is the origin of this beef, because they cannot stand each other.
Literally. So Dominic literally has to go and take a breather after his conversation with Cache.
Like, he literally has to calm down. My thing is, Cache was only telling the man, like, look, we probably shouldn't go in, and he's upset. He's mad. That's the thing. Like, Dominic is trying to play the MTV version. We're playing the CBS version, nigga. We don't want to go in, okay? We're not trying to go in.
We're not trying to go in. God, baby. So after that, James approaches Leo, and I just want to take a quick second. Leo, baby, if you are single, because I don't know the tea.
Leave these men alone.
Leo is fine down. You need to stop. I know it's big.
You need to stop. You need to stop flirting with men.
No, it's a big.
You are a man. You are a man.
Mm-hmm.
You are man.
What Nene say? Keep your legs closed to married men. That's what
keep your legs closed for married men.
Mm-hmm. I hope he's not married. He could be married to me. So James tells Leo that essentially he was like, I mean, I don't think I want to go against Dominic and Cass. And Leo was like, who you want to go against? Me and Justine? And James was like,
I mean the thing is, it's crazy because James, like, I can respect James because he did tell me straight to his face. I mean, you ain't hear from that's the thing. Tiffany got blindsided by her people. Mm-hmm. James went straight up to Leo, was like, look, man, like, look. No shame.
If I could choose, I would have told you.
And the thing, and Leo was so hurt. He had a diary. He was like, that hurt here, man. That hurt here. Like, I feel bad because I feel like Leo thought that was besties for real. Like, I feel like he thought this was a brotherhood. He literally went to Kayla and was like, what is this nigga doing? And Kayla was like, what is this man doing? And Kayla had a diary room, and she's like, well, my thing is, trust is the biggest thing in this game, and you just broke it. So at this point, James is not accepted by the Survivor people.
Shout out to Amazing Race, because I came in, honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, the tea. I didn't watch Amazing Race because it gave little bit. It didn't give. But seeing these people, seeing these three, it's just three of them. Honestly, they're making me a little bit excited to watch it because I love the personalities. The personality. Kayla is like really, really. Shout out to Kayla. That's my girl. All her diary rooms give for me. When she was paired with David, and she was like, not David, child. It gave, like Kayla. I'm ready to see.
I feel like one thing in general, I think what the Challenge USA is showing, like, we need more intermingling of the shows. Like, I want some of these people to play Big Brother and the Amazing Race. We need more intermingling of that. Like, I would love to see these people cross over a lot more. I mean, Love Island is not owned by CBS no more, so that's not happening. But the other girls,
we didn't need them anyway. And another thing is, also with Jackie from Big Brother. I really liked her personality too, and Jeff was a little bit lesser, but I still liked his gameplay.
But that's the thing.
The Amazing Race girls are giving a little.
But that's the gag. The Amazing Race casting is weird because, well, I don't know how the casting will work over there, but I'm assuming they're not necessarily casting for strategic minds. But then you have Natalie, who went on to win Survivor. You have James, Kayla, and Leo, who are on here playing very strategically well. You have Jackie, who played strategically well in Big Brother. I mean, Jeff has his weird little stint as well. Like, these people have a mind for games. Like, they know what they're doing.
Definitely. So, and a random thought. Parvati initially applied for the Amazing Race.
So did Janelle, didn't she?
And so did Janelle. So did no, not Rachel. Rachel applied for Survivor. But definitely Parvati and Janelle. And it's like, damn, the baddest bitches of the shows. So Amazing Race got the girls. Get into it. After this, the arena. We get to the arena. So we go in, and going in, it kind of seems like Justine and Leo might just get thrown in because that's what James and Tasha he requested.
Because from what we've seen so far, what James wants, James gets.
Clearly, the fuck. So we get the dramatic intro of James and Tasha, and it's just the lights are flashing, and it's their faces are coming in and out, and they're walking down the hallway, and they're really looking very
dramatic.
Serious.
The challenge gives it.
Baby, let's get to the phone. So James and Tasha come in, and they're standing there, and TJ is like, well, Angela and Kylan, it's time for y'all to vote. And they vote, and the vote is for Dominic and Cachet. And I'm like,
I was gagged. But they basically, and we get a preview that basically like, look, we doing weak teams. Because we all know Big Brother, Kylan. We all know Kylan from Big Brother. The one thing about Kylan, he want to go to the end with the best that they can be. And whatever it takes.
And listen, shout out to Kylan. Shout out to Angela. However, what? I still don't get it.
I honestly like the risk of going in with a weak part. I mean, I guess I see it, but I just feel like, I'm
not finna pretend to see it. I don't get it. Kylan, love you, Buki. However, sir, why you and Angela and Tyson? Why is the thought process not instead, if you strong, you can show go? Because now it's looking like, in my opinion, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm gonna think. If Kylan does make it to the end of the game, someone stronger, some of the people he's protecting, saving, not putting in, could easily beat him and take him out. Same with Angela. Same with Tyson.
Or take their money, because that's the thing. The strong people will likely have the money. So there's going to be a point in the game where the people are going to be like, "Well, forget that. I want your money, honey."
Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't think the risk is. I don't think the reward. And I have not seen anyone play with this strategy and win. Like, I won't say that because there's been so many fucking seasons of so many shows. Yeah, but it didn't work for Kyle and Buki.
I will say with the challenge. The thing is with the challenge, right? The strong competitors, they usually make this kind of like big conglomerate alliance because the final is filled with like 6 people. Mm-hmm. But you always have to start, like, for example, that's why Giant Bananas is able to win 13 fucking challenges, because he's always had all these friends. All these friends decide to go to the end with him, and Giant Bananas is better than them, so he wins. Like, so it's like, you really don't need to go to the end with someone who is just as good as you, because that day they could be better. Mm-hmm. In my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I agree. So, I mean, it's a decision. We'll see if either Angela or Kylan win this game, or Tyson win this game. And if they don't, then I'm going to just come back to this podcast and be like, But we move. So, the arena challenge is called Plug and Play. So, you start at the top of a water tank. It's a big-ass tank of water. In the big-ass tank of water is some blocks, and the blocks are stackable. So, one of the pairs, the partners, are going to go into the water tank and start untying all of these blocks. The person on the top of the water tank will take the blocks, jump down, slide down a pole, and start stacking. Now, whoever can stack the highest or stack all of the things first will win. The catch is that your water tank will be continuously losing water unless you plug it up yourself. So if your water tank gets below the line that is designated, you are now losing the challenge.
Yeah. You disqualified.
You're disqualified in the challenge. So whatever. So that's the challenge, and they have to decide who's going to do the tank, who's going to do the stacking. So Dominic and Cache decide that Dominic will do the tank and Cache will do the stacking. And Cache is like, I don't know. It's giving maybe I should have did the tank, because if I do the tank, then maybe the water won't go out as fast because I'm a little bit less. I have less weight. But hey, we move. They're just kind of bickering, and it's like, damn, y'all don't agree on anything. Like, literally nothing.
Honestly, I love them together. I want them to be paired. I wish they could stay paired together because they are such a chaotic duo. But it's like it's a working chaos. Because clearly they won.
Mm-hmm. And then the other two, Tasha and James, are like, we are friends to do good, and they have a very wholesome, very Ruha, we got this, guys, type of confessional. And it's like, I hope y'all got
very final speech.
Very exiting remarks. So anyway, so they start the challenge. Dominic gets in the water and he starts going really fast. Dominic's getting the girls. And this is my thing. When they call Dominic weak, when they say he's one of the weaker players, from his history of Survivor, I don't see it. Clearly, we're not in the house in the challenge, so we don't see every single thing that they're doing. We don't see every challenge. We don't see Dominic all the time. So clearly, he's flopping because girls keep saying he's flopping. But I thought he was pretty good.
Also, I think it's because like it's in comparison. Like, for example, at this moment, how the teams kind of came about, like they are the weakest duo together, the two combining forces. So it could just be a thing like that as well.
I don't know, just by the image, it's giving David and Shannon, but we move.
Well,
we move, but but David's big brother, so maybe they were like, no big brother girlies. Yeah, that's
likely.
Is David really big brother? Anyways, so Dominic
is there.
Dominic's doing pretty good. So he's actually doing good, and he's getting the things out to Cache, and Cache is stocking. So at that point, that Cache and Dominic are in the lead. Tasha and James are trying their best.
However, Dominic, for some reason, doesn't think plugging the hole is the more important thing of the challenge.
So he literally has all of his things out of the thing by now. Cache is literally just dealing with the stacking. And Dominic is in the tank, letting the water run out, and he's just standing there looking at her. I noticed, I was like, he's done. He has all of the things out. He's just watching Cache.
And it's going down quick. Like, it was literally right at the line. And then, boop! Cache got it. I thought it was over. I honestly thought they lost. I was kind of gagged, not gonna lie.
So Cache gets it right at the literal last fucking second. and they win the challenge. And as soon as they win the challenge, we get a confessional from King Kylan. And Kylan is essentially like, well, you can tell the producers asked him, what do you think about Cache and Dominic, the people you sent in, staying? And Kylan says, I mean, they're staying, so that's good for them. However, am I
They're
afraid?
weak.
Not at all. Do they seem like a strong team? Not at all. These are the two weakest people here. So next question. It was giving very much like, why y'all even ask?
And I will say it was definitely given, and then it is scripted. That's the thing. The girls who watch reality TV, you can notice when the lining sentences is off. It doesn't seem like that was a continuous pattern, but I do think he called them bitches weak. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely just said they're weak as hell. I don't even understand why you're asking me this, but anyways.
My thing is, I mean, Colin, he can call me weak all day long. That's a man. I mean, I'll be weak.
Goodbye. I get so
basically, Dominic and Cache, what they both get $2,500 for their bank accounts, and they're going back into
$2,500.
Yeah, because they both split with James.
Oh, how much does James have? He got extra because he won last thing.
What did they get? But they split it, so I think
it is 2,500. I think it is 2,500. Yeah.
So so that's what they ended up getting. We're gonna do better with keeping up the money, y'all, because I was slacking this episode. It was a lot going on. But yeah, like I'm really enjoying the series so far. I think next episode is gonna be really, really fun. Mm-hmm. I saw some drama between Shan and Big Brother. Arthur was looking gorgeous down in the next episode confessional. So we're excited. Like it's really, really heating up. Like I'm still really excited to see all these people interacting. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Mm-hmm. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, just one quick note. Dominic claims he wants revenge on Angela and Kylan. Will he get it? To be announced.
Doubt it.
But yeah, that was all for me. If that was all for you. Mm-hmm. All right, just check us out next week. We'll be covering the Challenge USA all season, and we will be covering the next episode of the Challenge. Go ahead and comment any of your thoughts throughout this podcast, any of your thoughts on the episode. Go ahead and check us out for Big Brother 24. We will be doing coverage every week of that. Also, follow us on our social media at T Reality Kingdom on Twitter and on Instagram. We will be doing spaces after the live episodes of Big Brother. So if you're into that, go check us out there or whatever. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Bye.
Tell your homegirl. Tell your daddy.